Hello students, today we'll start the first chapter in zoology, reproduction in organisms. Reproduction in organisms. Asexual reproduction, reproduction by a single parent without the involvement of gamete formation is asexual reproduction. Sexual reproduction, reproduction by two parents with the involvement of sex, production of gametes, sexual reproduction. Different types of asexual reproduction: fission, sporulation, budding, gemule formation, fragmentation, regeneration. Fission. Fission, two types as binary fission, multiple fission. The animal's body divided into two halves, that is called as binary fission, and the animal's body divided into many fragments, that is called as multiple fission. Example, amoeba. Strobilization, that is the second method of reproduction, is strobilization. Several transverse fissions occur simultaneously, giving rise to number of individuals. This takes place in the animal called as Aurelia. Sporulation takes place in amoeba. During the unfavorable condition, amoeba multiplies by sporulation without encystment. Encystment is the amoeba during unfavorable condition, that it is covered by a cyst, a thick covering which is called as cyst. Without encystment, it reproduces is sporulation. Next is budding. Budding is a type of reproduction where the animal, it produces buds. It produces one bud or more than one bud it produces. There are two types of budding. One is exogenous budding, the other one is endogenous budding. If the buds are produced outside the body of the parent, it is called as exogenous budding. Example, hydra. Endogenous budding, the buds are developed within the body of the parent. Example, Noctiluca. Next type of reproduction is fragmentation. The animal's body divided into many fragments. Each fragment develops into separate individual. Example, sea anemone. Next type of reproduction is apolysis. Apolysis is a type of reproduction that it takes place in Taenia solium, tapeworm. The tapeworm has got the head with the segments. Many segments are called as proglottid, and each proglottid that it separates from the parent and it develops into separate individual. And this type of reproduction that is very significant in transferring the developed embryos from the primary host man to the secondary host pig. Taenia solium has got two types of host, which is called as man, and the secondary host is pig. Regeneration. Regeneration is regrowing the injured regions. Regrowing the lost parts is a regeneration. There are two types under regeneration. One is morphallaxis, the other one is epimorphosis. Morphallaxis is the entire body of the animal, if it is regenerated, that is called as morphallaxis. It is seen in hydra. Epimorphosis is only the injured part alone is grown, that is called as epimorphosis. Example, starfish. Regeneration, it is seen in sponges. That is, sponges when macerated and squeezed through fine silk cloth, the cluster of cells that it passes through, and these cells can regenerate into new sponges. And this is a technique which is followed for cultivation of sponges. Next, we move on to the sexual reproduction. In sexual reproduction also there are different types. First is conjugation. In conjugation, it is nothing but the temporary union of two individuals of the same species. The conjugants, they exchange the nuclear materials and they get separated. And this type of reproduction is called as conjugation. This is seen in Paramecium, bacteria, animals. Next, parthenogenesis. This is another type of sexual reproduction. What is parthenogenesis? Development of an egg, unfertilized egg, into a complete individual without the act of fertilization is called as parthenogenesis. This technique, parthenogenesis, is studied by Charles Bonnet in the year 1745. There are two types of parthenogenesis. One is called as natural parthenogenesis. That is, parthenogenesis, if it occurs naturally, it is called as natural parthenogenesis, which is seen in honeybee. Under natural parthenogenesis, there are three types. One is called as archenotochy, where only male honeybees are produced by parthenogenesis. The second type is theleitochy. Theleitochy is the females are produced by parthenogenesis, that is seen in the case of the animal Solenobia. And the third type is amphitochy. Amphitochy, parthenogenesis, where the egg develops into individuals of any sex. Example, a honeybee, Apis honeybee. Pedogenesis, it is also a type of sexual reproduction where the larvae produce a new generation of larvae by parthenogenesis. This is a 2-mark question. Pedogenesis. Pedogenesis is the larvae produce a new generation of larvae by parthenogenesis is called as pedogenesis. Example, liver fluke and gall fly. Liver fluke is a parasite and gall fly. The next type is artificial parthenogenesis. In artificial parthenogenesis, the unfertilized egg is induced to develop into a complete individual by physical or chemical stimuli. This is seen in the case of annelids and also sea urchin eggs. Artificial parthenogenesis. You know the three types of animals as oviparous animals, viviparous animals and ovoviviparous animals. Oviparous animals or the egg-laying animals are called as oviparous animals. Viviparous animals are the animals which are producing the young ones. And ovoviviparous animals where the embryo develop inside the egg and remains in the mother's body until they are ready to hatch. This method of reproduction, it is similar to viviparity, but there is no placental connection between the mother. They receive the nourishment from the egg yolk. This type of ovoviviparity, it is seen in the fishes like shark. So, we have studied the different types of reproduction in organism. In the next class, we'll study about the human reproduction. In this 2-mark questions, and important question is pedogenesis. And what is the significance of reproduction, apolysis? That the 2-mark questions you have to concentrate. In the next class we study about the human reproduction. Thank you.